we yelled
We did.
and we sort of pinpointed where the best place to get energy from in order to yell is.
Yeah, right here.
Right down here. If you didn't watch that video, you should, because it's going to really help with what we're going to do today.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So just like last time where we, if you're yelling at your kids on the playground, or you're skiing or at an amusement park and you're really projecting with your voice, you're probably doing a version of what we did in the last video.
Yeah.
There's a parallel to this video. Most of us, when we speak, unless you're a really boring person, you are using pitch when you speak.
I always use pitch too when I speak. all the
Right,
time.
me too. So for the rest of the
Yes.
video, we're going to speak in one pitch the whole time.
Okay.
No. What we're actually going to do is we're going to focus on being extra expressive with our voice in a speaking way. And I have a little skit that I've
Okay.
prepared.
Great.
Maybe a dialogue.
Okay.
We're going to do that, and then we're going to isolate some of the lines, and then we're going to take it to the guitar, and then finally we're going to take it to the very beginnings of our singing voice. And we're going to realize how we can take expressive speech and notice some things about the way we speak and use that, just like we did with our yelling, use that, transfer that eventually into our singing.
Cool.
Super cool.
Sounds great.
So, here we go. Here is what we're going to be saying. Actor 1, which I'll be actor 1 sometimes, and you'll be actor 2, and
Okay.
then we'll switch
and I
sometimes.
should say I have no idea what we're doing.
Exactly. Isn't
So
that
that's
cool?
kind of cool. I am
Yeah.
really the student here.
Right. So, actor 1. I stepped on my own hand. It hurt. Actor 2.
I would never do that.
You might, if your arms were super long.
Oh wow, yeah, you might be right.
Okay. So, that was a good first run. Probably not a keeper. But there's all sorts of expressions that, if we really break down these lines, and if voice actors or actors,
Yeah.
period, they kind of study, how should we convey this particular line?
Yep.
That's a really important part of being,
Absolutely, yeah.
Any sort of entertainer.
Yeah.
And singing is entertaining, playing is entertaining. Now, there's a lot of ways that I could have said that first sentence. I stepped on my own hand. It hurt. I stepped on my own hand. It hurt. Now notice, just with that, I stepped on my own hand. It hurt. I'm doing something there that
Absolutely, yeah.
that's actually a fairly high pitch. And even when I just said pitch, I stepped on my own hand. It hurt.
Yeah.
So a lot of us, though, will say stuff like that, and then when it comes to singing, we're like, "Oh, I could never hit that note." You do when you speak.
Yeah. Good point.
There's all sorts of things, and we're gonna, in this very video, we're gonna show you how that's possible.
Cool.
And it won't be finished, but you're gonna get the building blocks of how this can work. So, I stepped on my own hand. It hurt.
I would never do that.
You might if your arms were super long.
Oh wow. Yeah. You might be right.
Ooh, see, you
Might.
just, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, let's take that. Might. You might. Let's just see what note that is. Might, which is roughly what. Yeah.
Might. Okay. Just the guitar.
Might.
Might. That's an F. Yeah.
You weren't.
F.
Yeah, you weren't using your normal sort of
No.
resonant speaking voice. It was something different.
Yeah.
Right.
But it just came out.
It just came out. You didn't really have to think about it
No.
much. That's exactly what we want. Okay, so we're going to take this monologue or dialogue here. We're going to take it line by line. We're going to keep doing stuff like that, and we're going to start discovering different things about what our voices do as we trade off, as we choose to use different expressions. It's going to be really neat.
Okay. I step on my own hand. It hurt.
I would never do that.
You might, if your arms were super long.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you might be right. Okay.
Different ranges there.
Yeah, lots of different ranges. The challenge for this, and when you guys are doing this too, as you do it over and over again, try to get rangier and more absurd
Yeah.
each time. And that's what we're going to keep doing.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the first line.
Okay. Got bad memorization.
That's
skills.
okay. That's okay. We're going to take it line by line this
Okay.
time.
I step on my own hand. It hurt.
It hurt.
Yeah.
It hurt. It hurt. It hurt.
Yeah. It hurt. It hurt. Hurt. It's, yeah.
But what happens when you start to assign like actual singing pitch
Yes,
to it?
yeah.
You start tensing up,
Yeah, yes.
right?
That's
Because
what-
you're
yeah.
trying to target certain
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
So we're gonna take this. It hurt, but we're going to speechify it, and we're gonna find this middle ground
Mm-hmm.
between, you know, oh, I'm in singing mode and I'm all
Yeah,
tense
yeah.
and scared,
Yeah.
and speaking, which you're free. You're freely doing this. You didn't have
Yeah.
to think about that at
No.
all, and you made those pitches. It hurt,
Yeah. It hurt.
right? It hurt.
It hurt.
It hurt.
It hurt.
It hurt.
It hurt.
So there's something that you're doing differently
Yes.
here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So here's what we want to do. Give me the guitar.
You know how it works?
I think so.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Of course you do.
We're gonna take just those words. It hurt.
It hurt.
It hurt. Hurt. It hurt. Works over an A.
Yeah, it does.
It hurt.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna create a very basic this, a bed for you. And I just want you to speak over it
Okay.
with this underneath. It hurt.
It hurt.
So you're hitting that E with that. It hurt.
It hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even just by doing what we just did, where you're kind of thinking about speaking over the pitch, you're more relaxed than you
Oh,
were
yeah,
about 10
definitely, yes.
seconds ago.
Yeah.
You know? Now I want you to borrow a little bit with what we did from the last lesson and just straighten up a little bit.
Yep.
And focus on speaking this over this A, but focus on that energy of here,
Yeah.
down and up, and not in the middle
Okay.
from last
Yeah.
time.
It hurt.
Yeah. Now you're doing stuff with your face, which tells me
Yeah.
that you're tensing a bit.
Yep.
Just speak it.
It hurt. It hurt.
It hurt. It hurt. It hurt.
It hurt. It hurt.
Yeah. Let's take the whole line.
Okay.
I stepped on my own hand. It hurt.
Okay. I step on my own hand. It hurt.
There's music there. Do you hear it?
Yeah.
Do you hear it?
Yeah. That's so cool.
I stepped on my own hand. It hurt.
I stepped on my own hand. It hurt.
Yeah. And you are way more dynamic and free sounding, and the tone is even better than when you started when we really tried to pitchify it, right? You
Yeah.
were making faces a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
You were visibly tense. I don't know. Maybe you can
Absolutely.
speak to that a little bit more.
I was feeling very tensed. I was put in an element that I'm not comfortable in. In my mind, I'm not a singer.
Right.
Therefore, whatever I produce with the hat of a singer is not going to be delivered the way a singer should do. But you just demonstrated that singing is, in a way, speaking.
Yeah.
Or we're just speaking and it's singing. So
Right.
It's
Right.
pretty incredible.
That's cool. Okay, let's do this again. I stepped on my own hand. It hurt. Go ahead.
I stepped on my own hand. It hurt.
got that
Hurt.
in. Yeah.
What note is that?
It's an E.
Oh, okay.
It's an E.
But all the way up there.
Yeah.
Hurt.
Hurt. Yeah.
Yeah.
But even when you just tried to do it right there,
Yeah.
I could see your neck tensing.
Yeah.
So we wanna get away from, like you said,
Yeah.
we want to get away from this idea that you're, I'm singing, David.
Yeah.
Now. I'm scared of singing. Just speak it. Speak it out as if you're narrating over this.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're gonna take that line, and I'm gonna do. I would never do that. And we're going to stick with this same range
Okay.
because this seems to be natural for the two
Okay.
of us.
I stepped on my own hand. It hurt.
I would never do that. I would never do that. I would never do that. Never do that. Never do that. Never do that. I would never do that. I would never do that. Now, that high note, if I were to try to really, I mean, that's a pretty high note. But, and I can support that note, fine. But if I want to contextualize it with what we're doing here, I would never do that. By incorporating it into the speech, I have made it feel completely natural with the conversation that's happening.
I stepped on my own hand. It hurt.
I would never do that. You might if your arms were super long.
You might if your arms were super long.
Let the A wash over you a little bit.
The A. Oh.
This chord here. And say that line a couple more times. You might if your arms were super long.
You might if your arms were super long. You might if your arms were super long.
Super long. Okay. I'm hearing some things there, but it's good that you're not trying to sing it.
Yeah.
You're just speaking it, and we're letting it sort of through osmosis is probably the wrong word, but
it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I stepped on my own hand. It hurt.
I would never do that.
You might.
Ooh.
You might.
You might.
You might.
Yeah.
I can't remember the rest.
Oh, but that's cool. You
Yeah.
might. You're doing that. And I just sungify it too, but we're trying to get away from that, right?
Yeah.
Might if your arms were super long.
You might if your arms were super long.
Might if your arms were super long. That's cool. Oh yeah. You might be right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That was inevitable. Oh yeah. You might be right. And it's not just that identifying high pitches is better, or we want to get away from that too. That is a huge misconception with beginning singers. It's like, I don't have enough range.
Yeah.
I can't sing high. You can. You just hit notes well by speaking through it that you
Oh, I
probably,
had no idea.
Yeah. That you
told me to play that F that we started with.
Yeah.
I'd be tensed up and like really.
Yeah. But you're hitting them just by going through this stupid little dialogue. Okay, so now I'm going to play through the chords. We're going to do the whole skit.
Okay.
And I'll bring these words up here so we can both see them a little better. There we go.
I stepped on my own hand. It hurt.
I would never do that.
You might if your arms were super long.
Oh yeah, you might be right. We need some applause.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna do it again. Now this time, those areas, I still don't want anybody to intentionally sing anything, but I want us to remember I said when we focus our minds on something, we have the power to sort of make it so when it comes to our voice.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do, we're going to focus intensely on what the guitar is allowing for us. It's allowing pitch. And we're going to, in a sense, get into character with our guitar
Okay.
in the background. And what that really looks like in terms of being different than what we were doing is, we were looking at each other, we were focusing on the words we were saying. Now, we want this to be a bit more of a narrative musical. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The difference?
Yeah.
Okay, so. Did you step on your own hand?
Oh. I stepped on my own hand. It hurt.
I would never do that.
You might if your arms were super long.
Oh yeah, you might be right.
I stepped on my own hand. It hurt.
I would never do that.
You might if your arms were super long.
Oh yeah, you might be right.
Yeah.
Again?
I stepped on my own hand.
Ooh.
It hurt.
I would never do that.
You might if your arms were super long.
Oh. Oh yeah. You might be right.
Yeah.
So it's becoming more and more musical, more and more vocal in terms of singing when we introduced rhythm.
Yes.
Again, and there were a couple times where we teetered on that edge of being maybe a bit too, like, there was one time where your face tensed up,
Yeah.
where you were trying to hit a pitch.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is when I watch you, and probably when and you can speak to this more too, I can see the difference.
Yeah.
And you're hitting pitches without sort of trying either way, right?
Yeah, it's a very interesting mental thing when we were doing that, because the first couple times it was very conversational. There was that background that became more and more present, so I was more and more aware of it. And that's where I almost had to remind myself that, yeah, this is coming up, but I could still speak. It's okay. And then adding rhythm made it more musical. It was still very comfortable to do. But when we started introducing rhythm, there was that part of my musical brain that engaged. It's like, hey, you're making music, be careful, you're a singer now.
Yeah.
And I had to just remind myself that I could still be musical with staying in that realm of the speech thing, just adding rhythm. And it's almost as I was doing the exercise, reminding myself that I can do this because you demonstrated that I can hit those notes. I almost externalized myself from what was going on, just listened, and it's like, I sound okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
And it's interesting. You sound. The main thing here is you sound natural.
Yeah.
Which is what
yeah.
anybody listening to a singer or anybody, that's what we want.
Yeah.
You don't want to watch a person who feels super awkward.
Yeah.
You want someone who's super natural. That's why, even people who wouldn't consider themselves, fabulous singers, but have a natural state about them when they sing.
Yep.
And and I think of guys like Bob Dylan or Jacob Dylan or Tom Petty even. These guys aren't fabulous singers, but they are. They're natural.
Yeah.
They're charismatic. And when we're speaking this, we're pretty charismatic.
Yeah.
I stepped on my own hand.
Yeah.
It hurt.
Yeah.
That's charismatic.
Yeah.
And we as humans engage in conversation in a charismatic way. All of us in a unique way.
Yeah.
But it is more charismatic than if I were to put you on the spot, which I'm not going to. If I were to put you on the spot and say, make up a melody.
Yeah.
For that would be you would start to feel awkward.
Absolutely,
And you would project awkwardness.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there is pitch in your speaking voice. Train yourself as you're speaking throughout the day, as you are expressive at work or talking with a family member or whatever, train yourself to stop, kind of like we did, and go like, there's some pitch there. This is going to help not only your voice, it's going to help your songwriting, your sense of melody. By realizing how musical your speaking voice is and can be, you are freeing an aspect of your singing voice. And we're gonna travel in the next video. We're going to take what we did in the first lesson, which is understanding what kind of power we have, and we're going to take this idea of musical speaking into a real melody. So,
Cool.
we'll see you there.